Good evening, everyone. Let's begin by taking 5 minutes to quiet our mind, shall we? Now, please open your eyes. A couple of days ago, I received a Chinese composition and with 11 statements about when I say I'm a Buddhist. It's so well written, I thought I'd share with you. But it was written by a Cambridge professor called Richard Gombrich. And he's been 40 years to be a Cambridge professor studying Buddhism and Pali. And so search online, look for the Chinese name, and so that I can find the English version. Discovered this particular article is very popular, both in English and Chinese. So I found the English version. I thought I'd share with you. But why in the Heart Sand session I want to share, a statement about Buddhism? Because this is the root of Heart Sand. And after this session, you will discover that when I say I'm a Buddhist, can be applied to when I say I'm a Christian or Islam. And this is the essence of Heart Sand. In other words, the true understanding of Buddhism is universal. It's a spiritual practice. It got nothing to do with anything else but our spirituality. So if you don't know what Buddhism is, or if you're a Christian, if you're a Jewish or Islam, don't be focused on the first phrase, which saying, when I say I'm a Buddhist. Focus on the second part. Second part answers the question, when I say I'm a Buddhist, what does it mean? So there's 11 phrases, and I truly enjoy reading it. So I thought I'd share with you. The first one is not Cambridge, Oxford University. Professor Richard Gombrich. If you like it, I can post the link in the chat. When I say I'm a Buddhist, it doesn't mean I'm pure and nicer than others, but it means I have too much ignorance and mental defilement to remove. I need Buddha's wisdom. In other words, this practice of Buddhist or Heart Sand is practice for ourselves, not practicing others. Not trying to modify or edit or influence other people's behavior, but our own. What's inside of us? How do we make ourselves a better person, a wiser person, a helpful person, a person that's in sync with the purpose of the universe? So, ignorance doesn't mean I don't know. Ignorance means I think I know everything. I think I know. But truly speaking, how much do we really know? If you think about it, everything we know is incomplete. It's partial. So, let me repeat. When I say I'm Buddhist, it means I have too much ignorance and mental defilement to remove. I need Buddha's wisdom. How do we get the Buddha's wisdom? Through meditation. Let go of our false self, our righteousness, and open our heart to be in sync with the purpose of the universe. Second statement. When I say a Buddhist, doesn't mean I have more wisdom than others, but it means I have been occupied by too much arrogance. I need to learn to be humble, to develop a broader perspective. Well, the whole key is really the broader perspective. As you know, in the Xin Xingming written by the third patriarch of Chan, it says one is all is one. In other words, we need to be with the all, not with some. Both our thoughts, our mind, our understanding need to be with everything, every form, every person, every object, not just some. Once it becomes some, it becomes biased, it becomes incomplete. So once we have a perspective that is all, a company, not a department, a family, not a relative, the entire country, not just some states, entire world, not just some country. It's easier to say, of course, I understand. But that's the goal. In other words, abandon our limited perspective, but focus on the bigger perspective, on the all, a broader perspective. Yeah. Third one, when I say I'm a Buddhist, I not only love those to my taste, but Buddha loves even people he does not like. Guide them to be full of wisdom and compassion. That's why I choose to follow Buddha's teaching. Well, there's a saying, as you probably heard in Buddhism, there's a lot of saying about the other shore. We need to cross the river to the other shore, right? Where's the other shore? Someone put it this way. I think one of our hard time practitioners put it this way. He said, it could be a she. I'm not sure. I just read it from the hard time publications. The other shore is the shore beyond the shore that we feel comfortable, we understand, we love. In other words, the other shore is the shore we hate, we don't love, and we don't understand. Meaning, we need to, again, go back to the all question. We need to be all, we need to love all. We need to understand all. We need to accept all. It's very simple. And so therefore, we cannot just hang on to the ones we like and reject those we don't understand or we dislike, The next one, if I'm a Buddhist, it's not because I'm better or worse than others, but because I understand all being equal. I shared in an earlier, I don't know whether it is this session or another session. Oh, it's probably during the retreat. I told my daughter, I'm just a flesh. And the society gave me the title to be your father. It's a pseudo-identification. My experience and my knowledge, I'm not even sure I'm qualified to be your father. Because I'm a man, you are a girl. And you don't have to pick on this ID being my daughter. That's a social thing, So, if you think about that, I mean, all our problems arises when we identify ourselves as somebody. I am somebody. I can accept this. I cannot accept that. I have my position. I have my character. You don't have to be attached to all of those. Those are pseudo-self. Those are the egoic identifications. If we become all, I mean, can you be just one girl's father? You can be all of the fathers. I mean, everyone's father. And often I say, if I take 100 different perspectives on a certain subject, if I truly look from their view, you will find each perspective is valid. And if all perspective is valid, do you need to have your own perspective? Yeah? It's very simple. I mean, once you accept it all, you have no more reservations. You have no more dislikes. You're going to like it all. You're going to accept all. You're going to appreciate all, even though the circumstances, in your opinion, may not be pertinent, may not be suitable, may not be beneficial. But that's all the creation of your pseudo-self. Next one. When I say I'm a Buddhist, it's not with the goal of getting what's in my interest, but for letting go of my personal clinging to all the worldly desires. I remember, and I'm sure you have also remembered, when we were kids, what does the parents do to us? You want that candy? Walk over here. Learn how to walk. You want a toy? Learn how to ride a bicycle. Everything has a goal, has an objective. If you want this, do that. Everything is a trade-off. Everything is I don't know how to say it. But that creates our desire of wanting. I mean, imagine we were a baby. I mean, what did we ever wanted? Whatever stuff into our mouth is what we wanted. We have no preference. And all this upbringing, that, in my opinion, is probably not exactly the right kind of upbringing of creating goals and practices and all. We have this deep down desire to own, to have, to want. But actually, even if we don't want, things still come to us. The universe will never abandon us. We were always provided for. To experience this, it does take some gutsy determination. Try not to expect anything and just wait and see what happens. It takes courage. But once you try that, you will notice it's a lot easier for things coming to you instead of you go after things. Like my grandma always say, money has 4 legs and you have only 2. It's hard for you to chase after money, but when money chases after you, you cannot run away. Of course, that's not exactly the Buddha's teaching, but I thought I'll share that, for your reference. When I say I'm a Buddhist, it's not because I pursue a smooth life, but for the calm acceptance of impermanence and be calm and confident like a king in any adverse circumstances. Dalai Lama said what we seek in our lives is not happiness, but contentment in all circumstances. In other words, whether it's an adverse situation, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you have it or you don't have it, whether you have $1 million or nothing, you are content. So the contentment does not come from the brain. The brain is a funny machine. The contentment comes from our heart. It is a feeling. It's not a logical deduction. It cannot be achieved through reasoning. And how do I get there? Meditation. Once you meditate enough, all this yearning for material, for the stuff, will be gone. And you will want less, and you'll be happy, you'll be content at all time. There's another saying that impermanence is unavoidable because It is the manifestation of cause and effect. Once you have a cause, you're going to have an effect. And the effect becomes the cause of the next effect. It just prolongs, propagates by itself. And there's nothing we can do about it. Once we understood that, once we understood the cause and effect is a physical manifestation of life, got nothing to do with our spirituality. Once we got that, once we truly understood the cause and effect, or in Buddhist term, karma, then you will know all we can do, the best we can do, is to accept it, resolve it, get rid of it, satisfy it, or accept it. Therefore, every adverse effect is an opportunity for us to look inward and see where our heart is. Is our heart hindered by our brain, by our pseudo-self, by our ego? Impermanence, karma, is something that for us to actually grow, to awaken our spirit. That's what it's for. And if you're caught in impermanence, in the turmoil, then you are jailed. I'm sure all of us know that. But when that comes, can we, resolve? Can we actually awaken? Next one. When I say I'm a Buddhist, I do not mean to manipulate others with motivations of self-interest, but with a good use of wisdom to benefit self and others while being empathetic to all sentient beings. When we reach this awe, when we truly understand our physical body is just no different than another physical body. My flesh, your flesh. We're just flesh. The reason that I think I am someone is because the upbringing and because the social customs. I need to be someone to be identified. Hey, come over here. Who are you talking about? Yeah. So there's really no reason to have a self-interest, because once we reach all, everyone's interest is my interest. Interest of the family is my interest. Interest of the country is my interest. Interest of the state is my interest. Always look at the big picture, the broader perspective. You see, all these statements are related. If you come by now, can you tell there is some fundamental linkage between all these statements? When I'm a Buddhist, it's not because I want to escape from the world and pursue nothingness, but to know everyday life is within Dharma and to live in the presence to practice. Well, let me ask you this. Can we live without being in the society? Can we live on the moon by ourselves? Can we abandon our responsibility to be the son, the father, the friend, the colleague? I think it was Aldous Huxley who said this. He said, we were sentenced to die before we were born. Before we were born, we were unloaded. We were loaded with all these responsibilities. And that's karma. And we can't live without pay our dues. We cannot live just by ourselves. So therefore, this impermanence, this cause and effect, cannot be escaped. We have to accept it, try to use our hearts, try to look at all, try to get the wisdom to live with a liberated heart. When I say I'm a Buddhist, does not mean that in my life will no longer experience setbacks, but with Dharma, setbacks are transformed into cause for my growth, which I said earlier that every adverse effect is an opportunity for us to examine inward. Just like the first statement. It's not an external seeking thing, it's an internal thing. Just like hard time practice. We always look inward to better ourselves, to liberate ourselves from our pseudo-self, to let our heart shine through. Do not reject a chance, which often is the adverse effect. Don't reject it, don't ignore it. Take it on, take on the challenge. What's worth? Lose some money, lose loved ones, lose a relative. So, there's no big deal. We are all a temporary existence. Someone said, we are spirit. We are spirit experiencing a temporary physical existence. See through that. Next one. When I say I'm a Buddhist, my heart is filled with endless gratitude. Just thinking I was born as a human, have the ability to practice in this life, and the opportunity to meet wise teachers and hear Buddha's teaching, I'm deeply moved by unbelievable karmic affinity. Isn't that what our Sifu always been telling us? We are fortunate to meet him. I mean, for the 30-some years Sifu's teaching, he keep on reminding us, in this life, you are lucky that you'll be able to experience the practice of heart time. And try to liberate yourself. Try to awaken your spirit, reach enlightenment. Because we don't know what will happen in our next life. I mean, I don't want to get into that. So just, take this opportunity of this lifetime. We have a good teacher. We have a bunch of seasoned practitioners. And we were fortunate that we have the time to practice. We can afford to practice heart time. For those who have to pick up 3 jobs with tired body every night, they don't have the opportunity to. So those of us who actually truly have the opportunity and the time and the resources to be able to practice heart time, please treasure this moment. And the last statement saying, when I say I'm a Buddhist, it's not because there's a God outside of me, but that I find the true Buddha nature of my own heart. Isn't that familiar? Sifu said that all the time. We even have song talk about our self-nature, our true self, not the false self. So the whole issue is try to recognize your false self and control and manage the false self. Don't be fooled by the false self. Don't be manipulated by the false self. And liberate ourselves from the false self. Now, this is the end of the 11 phrases written by Richard Gombrich, Oxford University. If anyone who likes to have a link of this article, I can post it. Just raise your hand. Okay. Hang on. Let me figure out how to do this. Any questions? Any comments? Oh, by the way, the Chinese version of this already posted in my Facebook under 绝妙精明. So if you have my Facebook, if you want the Chinese version, it's very well translated. And I think it's very useful if we need to ferry someone who really knows nothing about Buddhism, because this is really talk about practicing ourselves instead of idolize Buddha, worship Buddha. We don't worship Buddha. We just practice his teaching so that we can become Buddhas. Anyway, I thought I mentioned that as well. And I guess there's no more sharing or questions. Then I would suggest that we meditate a little bit so that we try to recognize our false self and be liberated from that. Okay? Let's sit up straight and relax, empty our thoughts. Let's focus on the path of breathing. The keywords is SSDL, slow, silent, deep, and long. Now let's focus on navel chakra. If you take a deep breath now, you will find there is some qi coming through your 10 chakra from the top of your head. It's a cool qi coming through your 10 chakra, and as you exhale, you will find the qi exited from your nose is kind of warm. And if you focus on this cool qi from the 10 chakra, you will see a light that's coming down into your heart chakra. I see a gold light column coming through my Dharma eye into the heart chakra. Now this qi is filled up my chest, My whole chest begin to swell up. So are my arms, my palms. I'm beginning to travel down my legs. My whole head is filled with qi right now. Just observe what's happening in your body. Don't try to guide or lead or using your brain. Just observe what's going on and relax. Be a third party. Every meditation session is different. And it's unique and fun. Now the 10th chakra and the heart chakra begin to vibrate together, as well as the root chakra. Usually our practice is root chakra to heart chakra to 10, but today somehow the 10th chakra begin to respond first. And then it just travels to the heart and to the root. Now all we have to do is line up the 3 chakras so that we can practice 三心定位, 3 center alignment. Once you line up the 10 and the heart and the root chakras into a straight line, you will see a column of light go through you. Just relax and observe. Now this column of light becomes a playing field, a field. It has no end. Now you can pick the field or any of the chakras to enter chanting.